Hello everyone, Press7 here, back with some more Bloons TD 6, and this time on normal lich we're seeing if druid spam is actually enough to beat lich. Now lich is still bugged. I'm assuming NK is going to fix that when 32.0 comes out, whenever that is, sometime July. I assume probably mid-July, should be coming out relatively soon, but anyways, yeah. Seeing if druid spam is enough to actually be able to beat lich. Here this time is Geraldo. You probably might be wondering why not Oben, simply just because I feel like Geraldo's actually might be better here, seeing as you know with the NFT number 1 as well, and of course you do have the +1 damage from Sharpening Stone, +2 damage to camos from the Sea Invisibility Potion. You also have the Rejuve Potion, which does reduce, well, it resets cooldowns, as well as some other goodies that he does have. So I feel like Raw at the moment, in my opinion, synergizes a lot better with druids than Oben does, which is a bit disappointing, but whatever. Hopefully NK might see this, the fact that Oben's kind of outclassed by pretty much every hero, and actually maybe he'll buff him in the next update, but I kind of doubt it, seeing as people have been saying this since the beginning of time. Oben's outclassed by literally everything, and NK still hasn't actually buffed him in any way, shape, or form. It is a wee bit disappointing, but at the end of the day, you know, what are you gonna do? So for this, I guess I'll just kind of tell you what I'm doing for tier 1. For tier 1, I decided that it would probably be easiest if I could just straight up afford Avatar Wrath, just kind of straight up. It is, I do believe that on this mode, not on this mode, on this week, it actually was easy mode prices, so thankfully Avatar Wrath isn't like the normal 48,000 that it is on hard, I'm pretty sure. So it makes it a lot easier to actually be able to afford Avatar Wrath. I accidentally actually go middle path farm instead of top path, so I actually ended up selling farm. So I did lose money from that, but I figured it's probably worth it, seeing as, you know, 110 isn't really efficient at all. I think selling for greater production was probably the play there. So round 40 came along, and I was a bit short, like 2k short, actually being able to afford Avatar Wrath. I did have to sell some miscellaneous towers I just kind of had, so I'm able to afford it, but thankfully I wasn't that too far off anyway, so I did have to sell quite a bit, but it wasn't like I was actually utilizing those towers that I kind of had at the moment. Of course Alchemist was there for leads, but even then it was just kind of there. And surprisingly or not, Avatar Wrath is not fully charged, which I found kind of interesting. I assume that Avatar Wrath was just always at max power whenever there was a boss on the screen. I just kind of assumed that Avatar Wrath was fully charged, but kind of interesting to see that, you know, Avatar Wrath for tier 1 lich isn't actually fully charged, which actually does make sense when you think about it. Avatar Wrath does more damage the more RBE there is on screen. Lich only has 14,000 RBE, which is nowhere near enough to actually be able to fully charge Avatar Wrath, so I guess it is pretty cool seeing like how that worked. I just kind of assumed that, you know, whenever there was a boss, all towers would be at max power. It is kind of a cool thing I kind of learned, just seeing Avatar Wrath is not fully charged whenever their tier 1 boss is on screen. I don't even think Bloons or Vortex would still even be enough to charge Avatar Wrath up to full power. I'm not really sure the exact RBE that Avatar Wrath is at full power, seeing as I don't really read the wiki stats like that too much, unless I'm kind of reading it for just kind of for fun, or if I need to figure something out, but majority of the times I don't. Alright, so for tier 2, pretty much the exact same thing. Avatar Wrath is at max power now, so I guess that's pretty cool. So I guess somewhere around 50,000 RBE is when Avatar Wrath actually gains full power. Doing the same thing simply just because, you know, Avatar Wrath also can do 50,000 damage pretty easily, as you can saw before. It absolutely melted Lich's health when it was actually in range. Now the only problem now is 63, as that is coming in 2 rounds. I'm not really as worried about it, simply just because I kind of assume that hopefully max power Avatar Wrath is strong enough to actually be able to take out 63. Even though Ceramics isn't really Avatar Wrath's strength, I still think Avatar Wrath is hopefully actually good enough to be able to do it. The only really issue is lead, so as you can see I don't really have much lead defense. I didn't really get a mib for whatever reason. I just kind of was too focused on farming to really be bothered with that. So I do trade Empire farming just because it's not really like a huge difference, but like I figured I was just kind of in the mood for trade Empire farming this week, so I figured, hey, we might as well not do it. It's efficient. But anyway, it's just like tier 1, tier 2 goes down just as easily. It's not really surprising, simply just because Avatar Wrath has always been kind of the meta against bosses along with Mad, but usually most people go Mad instead of AOW. Not really sure why, to be honest. For tier 3, I just didn't really do much for that. I just kind of put some light buffs on Avatar Wrath. Surprisingly, Pickle Jar doesn't seem to be affected by Lich, which I found kind of interesting. I kind of assumed that, you know, Pickle Jar would just be kind of absorbed by Lich, but I guess not. I found that actually kind of interesting. Not really sure if this will actually be too useful. I'm guessing maybe if you don't want to go like Taxone and Embrittle for tier 1, you could just do Pickle Jar on Overdrive and or Taxone and you'd still be golden, but I mean, I do think that I believe that Pickle Jar actually doesn't really improve your DPS much, since Pickle Jar does decrease your attack speed. So I guess maybe if your tower like kind of attacks fast, like I guess Sun Avatar really would only benefit from. Pickle Jar wouldn't really benefit, you know, Avatar Wrath too much, since it already does a ton of damage. Adding +1 won't really do too much. I guess in this case it's like +2, since I do have Sharpening Stone, but +2 damage to Avatar Wrath won't really do too much, but I guess it's better than nothing. As you can see, Avatar Wrath is still doing pretty good against Lich. The only really difference between this tier and the last one was really just kind of adding Spirit of the Forest and Superstorm, which Superstorm and Spirit of the Forest, neither of them do great mob damage. It's mainly just kind of Avatar Wrath hard carrying here, which is actually kind of surprising, seeing it's able to easily take out over 200,000 HP, almost 250,000. But I guess it's not really surprising, seeing as Avatar Wrath is well meant for mob damage. I personally find it kind of crazy that NK nerfs Mad because it was too good against bosses, but that Avatar Wrath is still left unchanged, which I guess kind of makes sense, as NK did say they weren't going to nerf towers for bosses, but they kind of went against that when they decreased his Mad damage from 750 to 550, which I guess is only like 200 damage, so it won't really like make too much of a difference if you're using Avatar Wrath, I guess, casually, but it just, or not Avatar Wrath, Mad casually, but even still, I feel like kind of reducing his damage by 200 just because it's good against bosses isn't really the play. For tier 4, I figure it's probably time to start the Poplust spam. Just get a bunch of O24s down as many as I can. I assume that O24 is the best mob damage. I can't really imagine how Ball Lightning or Jungle's Bounty would be better, so just kind of spamming Poplust all around the map in hopes that that would actually be enough mob damage. I do believe that each druid does have the potential to 8 damage per shot, since it does have Thorn Storm. So druid's actually pretty good mob damage, so I kind of assume, you know, this good mob damage will translate over to it easily being able to beat Lich. Well, it's not really easily, but it'll still be able to beat Lich like other towers like to have, like, you know, Dartling with PXL. But PXL does have better mob damage than Poplust does, so hopefully that won't make it any worse. But even still, with tier 4, it is a bit slow of a kill, probably because Avatar Wrath is in range. Avatar Wrath is going to be the main DPS, and it's going to hard carry pretty much everything. The Poplusts are kind of here just to support, really, just do as much as they can. And so the Lich bug is still persistent to where the Lich Soul is affected by free play ramping. NK hasn't fixed that yet. I'm assuming they're going to do that when 32.0 comes out, whenever that is. Bit of a shame, but it doesn't really matter too much if I'm being honest. But now that Lich is in range of Avatar Wrath, you notice that it's not really doing a whole lot of damage, which is a bit worrying. It's not really melting his health as much as it did before, so I decided to throw on some, you know, just some Jar Pickles buffs, and decided to get the little Killer Rabbit down. But even then, at round 102, it's not really going to do too much, as it does kind of fall off late game. Thankfully, Superstorm is doing pretty good against DDTs and stalling them kind of infinitely, as they are fast, and as you can probably hear by the little clanking, none of the druids can actually hit DDTs. I did hover over and buy Mib. I didn't actually buy Mib for whatever reason. Not really sure why. I did try to sell a bit just to get more, just to get a Mib under there. Probably should have waited, but you know, it's kind of whatever. I accidentally got Call to Arms, but it doesn't really matter since it just won't really use the ability there. So this just means that, you know, DDTs won't be as annoying. I did restart from round hundreds just to do this before, so I'll just kind of skip back to where I was at. So jumping forward quite a bit, as you can see, easily, I guess not really easily able to, but we're able to actually take down Lich. Lich Soul is a bit worrying, seeing as it is getting pretty far, and we still do have the round 120 Lich to go. which can be a bit worrying, as you know, since free play ramping is a lot stronger on rounds, like rounds 120s and whatnot, so it's kind of a bit worrying. Hopefully the Lich Soul won't be too annoying. Alright, so tier 5 coming in with 2.1 million HP, filled the map as much as I can with Poplust. Got as much Poplust as I can actually realistically kind of fit on the screen. It's kind of nice seeing their idle animation, as you can just see them all waving at you, which I'm assuming is what they're doing. As far as I can tell, it seems that Druid is the only one that actually does this kind of idle animation, which I thought was pretty nice, just kind of them having you wave at the screen. All the other towers don't actually have an idle animation. We're kind of hoping that maybe they'll import the idle animations from battles too, but maybe not. It would be nice to have the animation and the animation changes from battles 2 to VT6, and the animation changes in battles 2 are pretty nice. Anyways, as you can see, this is a very slow, even with Lich in range of Avatar Wrath. Avatar Wrath is still not doing too great at the moment. Even with getting all of them with Jerry's Fire right now, it is still pretty slow. Not really a good thing I kind of want to see, as with this slow kill, there's no way Rank's gonna be able to do this. Even still, I still do have some Druids that are kind of left over that haven't actually upgraded. That's not really gonna matter too much, as they're barely in range. And of course, we have the Quincy action figure up there, accumulating over 200,000. So I thought that was, I guess, pretty cool to end up seeing. As you can see, the tier 5 Lich Soul is definitely a lot faster, and it is not wanting to go down. That's definitely not a good sign, seeing as it was it literally just exited. And we weren't even able to pop it, which is definitely not a good thing, seeing as Lich is going to get even farther through the track. Now this time I just kind of figured, when I just get Super Mines and Perma Spike in the back, and hopefully that'd be enough to actually be able to stop the Lich Soul. Haven't actually played Elite Lich since this bug was kind of, now it's not really, I haven't stopped playing because of the bug. In general, I just don't really do Elite bosses too much anymore, as it's basically kind of the same strategy for every week. It's like clockwork at this point. So I don't really play Elite bosses too much, but that's just kind of me. Anyways, as you can see, it still is incredibly slow to actually be able to kill Lich. I should have put Superstorm in the front to actually stall the rounds as much as possible. Although Poplusts are going to do a lot of damage, so I'm not really sure how well I'd actually be able to realistically be able to stall. Lich has made it like halfway through the track, and we're just now kind of at the first skull. And as you can see, the Lich Soul is still flying across the map, just kind of ignoring all defenses. It was actually able to be stopped by Super Mines and Perma Spike, although I'm pretty sure it took most of what they had. Like, as you can see, their Super Mines had over 100k pops, which I thought, just kind of meant we don't really have much hope here, seeing as, even if we are able to pop the Lich Soul, we still aren't doing enough damage to Lich itself in order to actually be able to kill it. Slightly disappointing, seeing as, Druids do kind of excel with mob damage. That's kind of their one thing. So just because they throw so many projectiles that do such little damage, that, yeah. Druids can do 8 damage per shot if all the thorns hit the single target, so, and of course Lich's hitbox is huge, so each and every Druid is doing 8 damage per shot. Even with Avatar Wrath, it still is slightly disappointing to see, but what can you do? Well, that's all for me. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, join Discord. Link is down below in the description.